Hello and welcome to the tutorial on using Destiny. Remember, Destiny is our online public access catalog. It has everything that CCA owns, both print and digital. Once you go to destiny.ccaeagles.org, you'll notice there are no W's in the address, so don't make that mistake. It's not World Wide Web. You have two choices. You're either in the elementary school or the middle school / high school, secondary. And you're going to click on the one that you're assigned to or that you teach the majority of your classes in. So for example, I'm going to go to the secondary school. Your login will only work in one or the other, but don't fear, as a staff member you can search in both. When you click login, you see you do have a create a new account button here, but you would not be able to create your account unless you have your barcode. You can always contact the library staff if you'd like to create your own account or change your password. But most of the accounts have been created for you, so unless you changed it, it would be your first name rather, last initial for Jane Doe, Jane D, and your password would just be your initials, JD. You can search actually without logging in, but you don't have the full features. So you always want to log in when using Destiny. We tell the students the same thing. Here you can see your name up top. You can see a little My Info tab. That's your personal information. Oh, let's see here. I have an ebook checked out, The Battle of the Labyrinth. It will tell me if I have any fines or any holds, and if anybody has recommended any titles for me. Going back to the Catalog tab, you have a couple choices on the left side here. It defaults to Library Search for secondary school. If you're an elementary school teacher, it may default to Destiny Quest. Destiny Quest is just a more elementary interface. The elementary students are used to using this interface. It does everything the same as far as searching. You get the same results. You're searching the same database. But it also has this top 10 feature for each school. So you can scroll through and see what's the most popular books being checked out in each school. For new arrivals, what's the newest books we just added? Maybe we got a new book from the book fair, or you've been waiting for something. You can look there and see what's arrived. And then the resource lists are listed here in the middle. ACSI readings, anybody trying to get the certification, you can check and see what books are there, what's checked out, and then other lists that have been made public. By teachers, you can make your list public, or the librarians have made some lists available for you. So I'm going to exit Destiny Quest now and go back to our library search interface. And just a couple examples to show you. For example, if you want to search and see, do we have any Francine Rivers books? You can just hit enter, and that will give you just a keyword search, and you'll get everything, whether it's title, author, anywhere Francine Rivers shows up. Here you can see your results. You got 28 results. You can sort them if you choose to. Sometimes by title is a good choice. You know you're looking for something specific. You have other choices to sort by relevance or call number sometimes if you're doing a subject search, because it'll put all your nonfiction together and all your fiction, so sometimes that's a good choice. Here we have it by title, so you can scroll through a little bit about the icons. If you see this red book, it is a print book that's actually housed in the library. This little E book means it's actually a digital book, so if you'd like to read something online or on your iPad, that's the E for ebook. Oh, we actually do have a video here. This little icon, The Last Sin Eater, is a video. So that gives you an idea of what types of resources we have. On the right, it will tell you if it's available or not. 1 of 2 available, and so on. Now, if I want to refine my search and I'm not sure, are they only in the secondary library? Maybe I want to know, is it also in the elementary library, depending on the subject. As a staff member, I can search both libraries. So if I click Calvary Christian Academy, click back in my box and hit enter, now it's going to search both libraries. And this is really handy, especially for elementary teachers, because a lot of your, of course, adult fiction is going to be in the secondary library. So you're able to search both libraries even though you're assigned to the one that you teach. So let's see, I have 31 items. So it lets me know, oh, I didn't really have anything in elementary school. But just so you know, you have that option. And it'll tell you on the right side here, okay, your local is always going to be the school you logged into, which I'm in secondary. So I do have 1 of 2 available locally, but I have no offsite. And the offsite is going to be your opposite school. So if I'm in the secondary, my offsite is going to be elementary. If I'm in elementary, vice versa. So that just gives you an idea. So that was a simple search. Now I'm going to go back and do maybe, for example, a subject search that maybe your students would do. Volcanoes, I can hit subject, or I can just hit enter, which most students would do. And it's going to tell me how many sources I have. Remember, I searched in Calvary Christian Academy, so I might start looking and then like, oh, well, I really don't care what's in the elementary library because I only want to know what's in here, where I am. I'm in the secondary library. So I can refine my search and say, oh, never mind, I really only want to know what's in secondary school. I can press enter again, and then now it's only going to give me 19 items, so I don't have to sort through and decide which is which school. And this is only going to tell me what's available in the secondary library. I can scroll down and say, okay, there's 19 items. They all appear to be print books. Oh no, there's 2 movies, which movies are only available to staff members. But the most important thing with Destiny is we never want to forget that it's not just books. Titles will always come up first, which would be ebook or print book, but it'd be book form. Also, there's the website tab, and that's very important, especially with our youngest researchers, teaching them to go through Destiny to search for websites because these websites have been reviewed. They know they have relevant information. They can do a lot of sorting and filtering right here. Because as you see, even through Destiny, I get 1,000 websites, which is way too many. So if I'm a middle school student, I can come back here, I can sort it, say just 6 through 8. Maybe I just want to know what the government has to say on volcanoes. So I can filter it, click go, and it will narrow it down, where you see this time I only have 157 results. Still a lot to go through, but it's a good start. Instead of going on Google, you get 1,000,000 hits, and you're going to click the first one, and maybe because it was a paid advertising site and not because it was reviewed by educators or recommended. So that's definitely you want to keep in mind as your website tab. All right, we already talked about Destiny Quest. WebPath Express, if you or your students want to go directly to the web, you don't care about print books or ebooks, you want just internet resources, you can come just to WebPath Express and do your search. You're going to get the exact same results. It just bypasses, instead of giving you titles and websites, it gives you only websites. Again, you can filter it here. Maybe this time you want to see just things from EDU, just things from educational institutions. This time it narrows it down to 101. So that's your WebPath Express. Resource lists, really important for students and teachers. As educators, as teachers, you can make your own list. You can have as many lists as you want. You can make them public, you can keep them private. If you wanted for your reading groups, maybe Mrs. Doe, Group 1, I want to save that. And I want those students, so I'm going to go back and make a search because I want to add items to that list. So maybe that group is working on comic books. So I'm going to do a search just in the secondary school. Material types, maybe I just want them to have books. You can also sort by these other levels, but I'm going to say just books, comic books, and let's see what we get. Alright, I came up with 48 books. My selected list is Mrs. Doe Group 1, but I could change it to any of my lists that I've made. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to say, what do I want to recommend to this group to read? Oh, here's Batman, that's a good book. Maybe I want to put Captain America in there. We're going to compare the different artworks. Let's see, here's another one, good, Hulk. I can add as many items as I want to that list, and then that resource list stays there until I delete it. So if I go back to resource list, I have it here. I can view it. Very good, that's what I wanted on it. Awesome. When I go to my edit tab here, I can make it public. And public means that everyone can see it. Everyone on Destiny. So when a student logs in, he can go back to that Destiny Quest. He's going to look for the resource list. Oh, Mrs. Doe told me there was a list here she wanted me to read or to look at. I can click on Mrs. Doe's list, and there I have the books that she's recommended for me. So that's a great resource for teachers to make resource lists. And last but not least, you have the Follett Shelf. The Follett Shelf is one place that we house ebooks through Destiny. It's going to have the most ebooks available. Right now we are still building our collection. You can see there's only 38 books here. But remember when we searched for Francine Rivers, we saw that one of the books was an ebook. So that book will be here. We can search at the top for a certain title, or we can just browse through by scrolling. Because I was already logged into Destiny, it will automatically keep me logged in when I click on Follett Shelf. So these are all the ebooks we have. Oh, here, let's see if we want to look at this one. This is Echo in the Darkness. I can open it just to give me an idea. It's just like taking the book off the shelf. Do I want to read it? I want to open it first and get an idea of what the book's about. Takes a minute to load depending on your browser. So I'm not checking it out this time, I'm just opening it to look at it. This is the Follett Shelf Digital Reader app. You can have an app on your iPad, or it'll just open up on your browser if you're on a desktop or laptop. So here's the book. You can see all the different features around the edges. If I want to open it, usually there's a couple blank pages at the beginning. Forward, preface, acknowledgments. All right, where's the story? Oh my goodness, prologue. Page 1, all right. You also have a choice on the bottom here. You can make it 2-page view, just like you're holding the book. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. If you want to highlight, you have those features. You can do that. Well, I clicked it off. It's actually on blue. So this tells me I'm just looking at the book. I'm trying to decide, do I want to read it? Now I can go up to my backpack, and it's going to say, are you finished reading this title? Because once you close it, it goes back on the shelf. That's important to know that ebooks work just like a regular book in the library. So if we only have one copy and somebody checks it out, it's not available for anybody else. It's very expensive to buy the rights to these books, so it's one user at a time. If you pay a little bit more, some titles are available for multiple users, but most of our titles are one user only. So if I continue reading it, it's going to keep it off the shelf. I could close the title, or I can check it out. And that's when we teach the students also to decide, you're going to close it, you're done with it, you decide you don't want it, but yes, I do want it. I want to read it later, I'm going to check it out. Remember, I can read it on my computer, my laptop, or I can download it to my iPad. It tells me I've checked out An Echo in the Darkness, and it takes me right to my checkouts. So it tells me here it is. I had also checked out The Battle of the Labyrinth before, so I have 2 ebooks checked out at this time. And I can decide now, oh, I changed my mind, I want to return it early. I can click there. Or I can keep those books and I'm good to go. It does open another window, so when I'm done with Follett Shelf, I can just close it. And that is Destiny in a nutshell. And remember, your library staff is always available to help you with any of these items if you have any more questions.